I think that's us live. Evening, folks.
That's
Sorry
us live.
about the wait. Sean was fixing his hair. No, I'm only kidding. He wasn't fixing his hair. With a wee problem with echo and what have you. But we're here. So I hope everybody's safe and well. And thanks very much for coming in. We're back together. We're back tonight. I'm really on fire tonight. I'm telling you. Started off well, having a bang there. Sean and June are back with us for another wee chat because we've not seen them for a wee while. So I thought, might as well get them back in because there's nothing much else to do on TV or nothing like that, so I thought, might as well talk to them for a change. So how are we, guys? Evening, Nicole and Andy.
What was that, Scott?
I says, how are you?
Yeah, I mean, we're not too bad. Thank you very much. Sorry to hear that you've got bored with Coronation Street, so you have to put up with us tonight. But hey ho, it's a pleasure to be here with you all. So thank you so much.
It's good to have you.
Sean, you pregnant to me. My belly ain't the same for the last 11 years or so.
Scott, it's because I'm laying down. It makes me look right on the video here, on the live, that I'm really fat, but I'm not fat at all.
Suck it in.
I never said it. It was Andy. I believe he lives near you, does he not?
It was Andy that said it.
It was Andy that said it.
Oh, Andy.
Thank you, Andy. Look, I mean, I'll sit up there. Oh, no. Now my fingers in the way of the camera. No, come on, there's nothing. Seriously. Size 12 jeans. I'm not fat. Thank you very much. So I'm not pregnant. It's just the way I'm lying.
Right. Please don't give us a full frontal again, Sean. Even though you're our guest, I will have to remove you.
I've never done that.
Just keep the camera where it is. You know what I mean? There's enough scary people in the world without having to see that. I mean,
that's Sam.
Well, So what have you been up to? I know you're in lockdown and what have you. What's been happening? You've been out.
Well, obviously, when we had the first lockdown in March, I got a furlough for March. I didn't go back to work until October, so I was off for all that time. So, as you know, we did our hourly exercise. Didn't investigate. We went out. We took pictures in the old town and stuff. You've seen all of that. I went back to work for about a week. Then I had a week's holiday. Went back for another week, and then I got furloughed for another month. But now they're saying that my job was essential, so I'm back to work. But I'm not full time. I'm only part time, so I only do 4 hours a day now.
So, hey, Laura, Shelley. That's it too. Sorry, Sean. I'll see you later.
Scott, you had the date off.
I kept saying hello to Sam last week in the chat, and then I realised it was Sam. I mean, it took me a few minutes to know who it was. Hey, Weeky Freak, hope you're doing well, buddy. Laura, I hope your back's getting better, Bill. I hope your back's getting better. Sorry, Sean, carry on.
Yeah, so obviously, since sort of March, not been on full wage and stuff, we had loads of stuff that was going on for last year because we even bought new equipment. Not this Christmas, but last Christmas. And of course, the lockdown happened because we had a lot of stuff going on in Gloucestershire. We had quite a lot going on in Wigan. We had Birmingham and we had Manchester. Obviously, lockdown took place, so we had to postpone it all. And of course, this COVID stuff is carried on.
Then we got scared, didn't we?
And we got scared. We had to do the COVID, as you know, a test a couple of weeks ago. The boys
trying to do that on a 4-year-old boy.
The kids were quite ill. As it happens, luck happens, wasn't it? It was just a viral infection that we all had. Thank God.
Yeah.
So technically, investigations and stuff like that, we've not been able to do anything.
Yeah. We had to go for the COVID, for the test. We don't mention it on you. We had to go for the test. The way it didn't bother Tayami. I think she quite enjoyed it.
I'm not surprised.
Tayami. I believe
You're
it.
Amelia screamed the face down.
No,
Do you
it's
know
not
The
do.
face down.
I mean, let's do it again. Where are we going back for another one? But so I've been getting her cotton buds recently, kidding on. She's still taking a test. There you go.
I've literally just done one. I need to do 2 a week for my work.
No way. Do you know what? The nose one I can handle to a certain extent. It's the throat. No way. Could I do it again with the throat? No, I couldn't.
It's the opposite way for me. I'm fine with the throat. It's the nose that gets me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's the throat that gets me. I've got a really, really good gag reflex.
I must admit, I did struggle with the throat. My 10-year-old did really struggle with it. The 5-year-old, didn't he? Bless him. He did it. It was really, really good.
Oh, Jacob didn't do it.
Kyle.
Yeah, Kyle's 4.
He's 5. Coming up to 5.
Yeah.
And do you know what? He managed to do it all, but he was in tears, wasn't he? Bless him. Absolute tears.
It took two of us. It took 2 of us to do the 4-year-old one. But yeah.
It's a shame for them because they don't understand.
No.
I mean, this is a big thing for them, but hopefully this year we'll see an end to it, or at least begin to see an end to it.
Hopefully.
I hope so. I because obviously one of our salesmen who works for us, he obviously owns his own pub as well. And I think he said that he's now been open for about 13 weeks for the whole year since.
Yeah.
But he doesn't think that anything's going to open up sort of pub-wise, restaurant-wise, and at least till May.
No, I'm a driving instructor and I don't think I get out to then either. So, but if once the lockdown eases, where would you like to go first? Where's your first go-to place when you get the chance to go out and investigate?
Gloucestershire.
Really?
We've got a date there, haven't we? With the Premier Inn, that they actually headhunted us and want us to do a certain room in Gloucestershire.
Uh-huh.
And
did you say you've been to Gloucestershire as well? Again, did you say that earlier?
Did I
You've
say
been
what?
to Gloucestershire?
Yeah, we've been.
Have you been to Gloucestershire? Uh-huh.
Times, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one Premier in there that wants us to do it. I mean, their staff are now on our group. They will watch us live. So just don't book in the week that we're there to do the investigation, because if you're at the bar, you're not going to get a drink because they're going to be too busy watching us doing the live in one of their rooms.
So is it a notably haunted area? Is it like known to be haunted or?
It used to be an old school back in late 1800s. We did put some pictures up some time ago, and what they've done, they converted into a Premier Inn 20 years ago, 15 years ago.
There's a lot of stuff going on
in the attic area. They got rid of the attic area and they put 3 rooms up there, and the staff will not even go up there to clean that room on their own or do anything. They've had so much activity going on that a lot of the cleaners will refuse to go up. We actually had pleasure, didn't we? We were investigating because we were seeing a friend of ours.
218 with 218.
218.
Another haunted one.
They put us in that room because they know us, and we weren't investigating. We didn't have our equipment with us or anything, did we? And we got activity. We got stuff happening.
Yeah, some of it wasn't very pleasant either.
No, it wasn't. So, but really, room 220 is the one that we want.
But it's funny though, because when we went there and got room 218, the staff were fighting over each other to book us one of the haunted rooms because they knew we were coming.
Really?
But apparently back then, when it was a school and that, in the attic area, that when it used to be a school, a child hung himself in one of the rooms. He's known to be haunting that location. I mean, even you've had the public who have booked rooms and that. Some of them are fled halfway through the night. So there's a lot of activity. Obviously, we've been to Wigan as well, and we got room 8 in Wigan, where same thing has happened. You know, we haven't gone to investigate. We've gone to meet
Friends.
some of our admins and that. It's just been a weekend away and stuff. And they went, "Oh, you're paranormal?" Yeah. And they want us to do room 8 because some people have got up in the middle of the night and have left.
So we're hoping to meet up in Gloucestershire. We're hoping to meet up with another team again, aren't we?
Yeah, we're hoping we're Gloucestershire because hope to catch up. Well, we're definitely going to be catching up with them with GPIS. They got quite a few. There's quite a few haunted places in Gloucestershire. We're so looking forward to it. A lot of this we should have done last year because of lockdown we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And
I know it's
because we were doing sort of really well with our group and stuff. We were getting people messages, you know, we love you guys and that because you're really honest, you do this and blah blah blah, and we haven't been able to get out and do it.
No.
And of course, as I said, being sort of furloughed and part furloughed since March, it was sort of the money side of things. What we're going to be able to afford to do this year? Are we going to be able to do them all? Well, do you know what? I got a feeling that we're going to get a couple of the big ones done
At some point.
this year.
gives you something to look forward to. More stuff to look forward to for this year anyway. No,
I'm itching
not having getting it done.
The thing is, though, because as I said, the Christmas before we put additions, didn't we? Equipment.
Yeah.
To other stuff.
Haven't used it yet,
and we haven't used any of it. And I'm going. We're sitting there thinking, hang on a minute.
We're gonna have to read up.
I'm going to have to read up. How do I turn it on now and stuff? Because we haven't used it for so long. We haven't charged. We haven't done anything.
Some of them we haven't even used.
And some of it we haven't even used. And going, well, educating her with equipment is like trying to educate a penguin to eat a wafer.
Yeah, I'm not very good with technical stuff.
Oh.
We've seen that in some of your videos, do you know what I mean? I like it. But I know what you mean, Sean, about getting out and you want to get a couple of the big ones in and what have you, because we're the exact same. We've got about 6 planned down south. And so we need to start thinking what's the big ones and what's the no ones. Obviously, we've got the big 3-day in Pendle that we're going to with Danny Moss and Charlotte and Simon. And we probably these 2 beside you, you know. And Sarah, sorry. Really forgot
Can't
Sarah.
forget the boss.
Don't forget the boss.
Don't forget it. We've got, so obviously Pendle's top of our list, and then we've got, you know, you guys, we've also got Wales and London as well, and Nottingham. So we need to try and prioritise what the big ones are. Obviously Pendle's, you know, that's our first drop. Hey Lindsay, thanks for coming in though. And then coming down to Hastings, because we hope to meet, when we come down to Hastings, we get Portsmouth as well. So what I'm hoping to do is, you know, with yourselves, and Paranormal Analysis, he's wanting to meet up with us as well. So, to 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just sort of say you now, Scott, you know, I think that, you know, I know we got 3 or 4 really huge ones to be doing this year that we had to sort of put on hold that we're going to do it. I know we're going to be catching up with GPIS, Paul and Ed. We're going to do a huge one with them. And obviously, we're going to be catching up with you and says, you know, you're going to be coming to Hastings.
You and who?
Sarah.
That's not what you said.
I said says. It's sure.
Okay.
Oh, God. So
Sarah is listening, you know.
Obviously, we're looking forward to you to catching up, you know, in Hastings, because you know we got some really great locations here as well. Portsmouth is not too much of a problem for us. We work with another group in Portsmouth. I just won't book that premiere in to stay. I'll find somewhere else to stay.
It was a horrible premiere.
But no, we're really looking forward to actually catching up, doing some investigation with you and Sarah and other people. If all works well this year and the lockdown doesn't hold us back, we will do what we were supposed to have done last year, and we got at least 3 or 4 big ones, and we're really looking forward to doing this. It's probably going to be one of our biggest ones, isn't it, that what we've done?
Hopefully. But you also want to...
Andrew's got a question for you. Sorry, Rob. I've just
No, you're fine. Carry on.
Ooh.
I'll be back in a tick, folks. Okay, 2 seconds.
Okay.
Even though we get some of the burial grounds and stuff, I mean, obviously we're in 1066 countries, Battle of Hastings and stuff. There's so much history here. We started to sort of tell you quite a bit of it, Scott, which was what was going on here and that. But Battle of Hastings, what is the 10,000 people died in one day. They are buried here somewhere in a mound and is kept quiet.
But then again, Battle of Hastings only went on for one day.
It went on for one day, 10,000 people killed. They're buried in a mound somewhere, but they keep it very quiet. Obviously, I've been to the local library. We can research stuff with the paranormal, all the paper clippings and that. But the library do have other stuff they will not let anyone see. So why is it in a library? It's locked away, but we can't get access to reading local paper history that goes back to 17th, 18th, 19th. It's all kept secret.
Trying to redo the thingy.
And it's such a shame.
There's got to be some sort of reason for that. Obviously, because if they're keeping it restricted, there's something in it, or it gives you the impression that there's something in it that they don't want you to see.
Probably.
Yeah, I mean, somebody just said there the Battle of Hastings actually wasn't fought in the town of Battle. Yeah, the Battle of Hastings was fought in Battle. It's about a 15-minute drive from where we are in Hastings. It also revolved around Pevensey as well, and it actually started in Hastings at Hastings Castle. As I said, we've done a little bit. We've told you about it, Scott. So yes, it originated from Hastings and it went into Battle.
Nicole has said quite a few mounds are emptied years ago together with all the relics.
Yeah, I mean, Hastings, as I said, there is so much history. The old town, so much history. Because literally, I can walk from my house now 5 minutes down. We're surrounded by all the caves, aren't we? We're surrounded by the streets, all the so we go back to the smugglers. We go back to everything. One of our favourite pubs, and that there is when they renovated it. I put pictures up where they found the mummified cats. They're on display in the pub. There's so much history, and this is why we said to Scott and Sarah, we'd love them to come down here, because I tell you what, if they booked 3 days down here, it wouldn't be enough.
Well, that's one of the reasons why, as I say, we've got to prioritise the big ones to the small ones, and definitely Hastings is one of our priorities, and because there is that much history, and I want to see if we can get into that pub that you're talking about.
You can absolutely go. Do you know what? We've over the years we got to know them, and some of our live chats and stuff we do, they allow us, don't they, to do it in a big because it's a 3-tier garden. Do you know what? They even bring the drinks out for us, so we don't have to get up. Doesn't interrupt us with our lives, and when we're doing interviews and stuff like that, really, really good. The landlord is one of these that doesn't want people to investigate. He's a real grumpy ass.
Even though he actually promotes the fact that it's
even though he promotes it, for the food and everything, that is the most haunted pub in Hastings, which is pretty much correct. But the landlady said, well, when he's out there, she goes, we'll give you a tour of this. We're quite happy to do it.
So you think, has he ever gave a reason why he doesn't want it investigated?
The thing is, Scott, we caught up with another paranormal group. I'm not going to mention any names right now. We went for a meal there because we actually did the True Crime Museum. We were booked in 2 hours later. So we actually did the True Crime Museum in Hastings with them. We all walk in, we all got a paranormal top set. And even though he's cooking the food and that, doesn't he sort of looks at you and go, paranormal group, and he puts it, and just sort of puts his nose up to you and things like that. But the rest of the staff, because it's family run, the daughters love us, don't they? the wife loves us.
Yeah.
So interested, they join our group and all that, but he won't. He won't have anyone investigate it, but he will advertise it as one of the most haunted pubs. He's just one of these people, Scott. You know, you know, I don't know. Maybe he's just skeptical with it all. Maybe he doesn't want the publicity. Maybe he doesn't want paranormal groups phoning him up, giving the hassles. Oh, do you know what? He can make a bit of money out of doing it. Because you do feel the presence when you walk in there, don't you? I mean, original floorboards. Some of them go back to 1700s, original floors. Think of the history that's walked through there. There's even the tunnels that go from their cellar into the churchyard of All Saints, where the vicar got caught smuggling. He got hung on the beach 500 yards from that pub.
So is there any destination or location which is your favourite type of one to investigate?
Well, obviously, we've got the Hastings Cemetery here. That can get really, really dark. We've done
that place.
We've done a live there back in one of the August bank holidays. Yeah, it's not
that place is one place that absolutely terrifies me every time I go now.
It's not great. For me, this is where it all started for me to be a paranormal investigator. It started for me for 25, 28 years ago, was from that place. I was a skeptic, never believed in anything until what happened to me that night.
Mm-hmm.
And then since then, I've really got into it. But Hastings Castle there's a lot of activity around the caves. We've got the True Crime Museum.
I love the True Crime Museum.
I also get a lot of that activity here in my house.
Yeah.
Okay.
We've seen shadow figures here. We've had EVPs. We've got K2s. The kids have seen it. I mean, I have one. I think Mark was only 7 years old at the time. He was upstairs on his own. He saw something. It took nearly a year to get him to sleep back on his own, and this was in daylight.
Yeah, and it happened to me a couple of nights ago.
And you've
at 5:30 in the morning, I hear a small child laughing in the kitchen area. There's no child there. They're all upstairs asleep.
Oh my God.
Find as well with the house that we actually did have another group come and investigate this.
Mm-hmm.
As I said, what they captured and everything was there. So it, because what you know, when you sort of investigate your own house, it's not sort of the same.
Mm-hmm.
No, it isn't.
Investigating somebody else's. So we had another team come in and do all of this, and it basically confirmed everything that we got.
Mm-hmm.
So that was really, really good.
Yeah, because I mean, I get stuff happening in this house, and it'd be good just to have that validated, really, and just been personal experiences. What about Scotland? Do you have any plans on coming up to Scotland at all in the future?
Hopefully one day.
I've Scotland.
Oh no.
Not obviously on the paranormal.
Yeah.
Obviously not. On
There's that many different places over here that's steeped in history. Some fascinating places that are
if you like your castles and that as well, then you're in the ideal spot.
I've been to a castle in Scotland. I can't remember which one it was.
I went to Scotland years and years ago.
I went to Scotland years
ago.
It wasn't on an investigation or anything and stuff like that. But as I said, we do get around. We do travel. So yeah, I mean that is something on our list to come and do anyway.
Mm-hmm. The first place you want to go to.
Whether or not money side with stuff as still not sort of earning full wages, whether it be this year or next year, but it's definitely something that we've marked on to do, isn't it?
Oh yes,
love Scotland.
Yeah,
I've been to John.
There's some really beautiful places.
Sorry, no, Andy made a good point with that pub. Because about just he supposes fake if he's using that stage for advertising his business. Which is true enough, you know. He could be just doing it to pull in business and it might be working. That's why he doesn't want an investigation in case he gets busted. I'm not saying it is.
Yeah.
Because I mean, we've been there a few times, haven't we? We've always felt different things there, haven't we?
The thing is, though, with the Stag Pub, it's... I always say this wrong because I always say it is documented. But she corrected me and said it's not documented. Why I always have that in
It's
head.
documented.
It's documented. Okay, the Stag Pub is documented. It's not fake. It is definitely real. Definitely real hauntings and stuff that go on.
Yep.
But maybe that he just doesn't want everyone swarming because it's not the biggest place in the world,
No,
is it? It's not the biggest.
It's quite a small pub. It's a lovely pub.
It is a lovely pub, but the stuff that goes on there, no, it isn't fake. But for some, he's just a miserable git, to be fair. And I just don't. He just doesn't.
He doesn't talk to us.
You know, maybe he is a skeptic with all this, but his wife, his daughters, they've all seen, they've all heard.
Mm-hmm. They tell us about the basement.
If you read the history on the place, even before they owned it, you can read the history of the pub. Because we did a little bit of work for you, Scott, a few months ago on the Stag Pub. Actually, it's all down with everything, and it all corresponds. Obviously, something worth talking about another time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely not fake that what goes on there.
Fantastic.
So going back to what you said earlier about that you were skeptical about all things paranormal till you had your experience in Hastings Cemetery. What was it that made you believe?
Well, the thing is, I mean, I'm sort of going back really some years now. I'm not going to show my age now, aren't I? Really?
Yeah, you
but
are.
I'm sort of going back with you about 30 years, 28, 30 years, and this is when you had the CB radios. You know, we were all boy racers and stuff. We even had the girl racers back then, and there'd be a group of us. We were about a group of 8 of us, and we used to be our CB radios. We would race up and down the streets as you do. I don't do it anymore, may I add. And we weren't really into the nightclubs and stuff. And what we used to do is pull up into Hastings Cemetery, not driving, obviously. We'd pull up outside and we'd just walk around. It'd be the summer evenings. It was really great because you actually had the fireflies back then. You don't see them anymore. You always used to get loads of fireflies around the cemetery. It's hot. And we just used to walk around peace and quiet. But we were respectful for people. We didn't do anything wrong. And we went up another night. It was a really hot, humid night. And all of a sudden, on one of the footpaths, we got followed by a low mist. It sat about 2 or 3 foot off the ground. Didn't really think much of it until, well, it hasn't rained and that. So can't understand where the moisture, you know, you just sort of palm things off. And then we were, because it was a Friday night, then we were up on the Saturday night. And so I just wondered what that was you. And again, we got followed sort of by a low mist. And things changed. You sort of got on one of the paths that the wind had really picked up, but no trees were moving or anything. And there was this gravestone on one of the edges of the footpath, because we've investigated that since. It's not there.
Even put flowers
on and you had sort of the modern ones on the footpath near the entrance, but there was this old one, and it went back to sort of 1800s, and it had the name Elizabeth something blah blah blah. I can't remember now because I'm going back nearly 30 years ago. And there was 6 of us. All of a sudden, this woman, I can still see her face to my day, appeared. She hovered above that gravestone in a Victorian gown. She had long blonde hair. It come down to here. And she levitated above, and she sat there and she looked at us and she smiled. And what we did, because we had back then the UV pens, that was the sort of things in the 80s, wasn't it? To mark your DVD recorders and stuff like that. 2 of us, we just signed our name where this gravestone was. And then this mist started to get a bit high, about 3.5 foot, and started to follow us. And then at the gate, we saw 2 red eyes. That was quite, well, that's a different story from modern time. And we got the hell out of there. The next day, me and my friend who witnessed it, the others wouldn't go up there. we went back up to the cemetery. We knew where we did the signature because we had the UV light. That is the gravestone. It changed to a modern one. That name wasn't. And at the time, because it was all before the mobile phones, computers, and all this, you had a bloke in the office security, and we'd written everything down. And we were here last night, and we had a gravestone appear, and this woman appear. Her name was Elizabeth Blubber, 18 to 72 to 18, whatever, because I can't remember fully. And I said, now it's a modern grave, and it's saying it's somebody from this date to that date. And he took these books off the shelf. He opened them up and read them, and he went, 1870, Elizabeth. He confirmed the name and everything that we've written down, which this, when we went up the next day, that had gone, and the modern one. And he said, because obviously security on the site and that at the time, he goes, this is quite a regular thing that happens up at the churchyard. Now, we could not have seen that gravestone because it had disappeared overnight. And I still,
did you ever? Sorry,
I still see her to this day, nearly 30 years. I know what.
Did you ever do any research on the lady that you had saw the name? Did you ever do any research?
I think after that, because don't forget I was only quite young back then, and I think the group of us 7. After that, things sort of went wrong. To have ended up on murder. The next, not long after this, on a murder charge. Another one ended up getting divorced. Another one suicide. Another one, because there was so much activity there, and I do find it sort of quite hard to speak about.
It's quite eerie, the fact that you saw the two red eyes, and then kind of things went down.
Is though, when we all saw this apparition, and it was there, and everything, and what we saw with the graves, everyone was gobsmacked. No one spoke about it. We all went back, and we all wrote it down. No one spoke, and then we put all the statements from us 7. We put them all together, and they were 99.9%. No one spoke all together. And then after that, I went, yeah, okay, I've now seen. Then I started getting to paranormal, and then it got on later on in years, and that Mum used to like watching some of the paranormal stuffs on TV, and she got me into it. Then I started buying bits of equipment, and it just been progressing over the years. And then I did another group. Obviously, it's not the group that I've got now. It was another group. I had a couple of investigators, and long story short, and started doing stuff, learning more. And then I met you, and then we sort of got out more in the field. We did have a couple of other members that worked with us.
We had to sort of like
a couple of other teams, but unfortunately, you know, that all went wrong. But as I said, we do really well, don't we? We capture some good EVPs, we capture some good stuff. But yeah, that's basically what got me into the paranormal world. How can a gravestone be right there and have that date, and you can see a Victorian, and the next day that gravestone turns into a modern, but it's there in the records.
All I can say, it's a long time.
You didn't have Google back then. You had nothing.
No.
Absolutely nothing.
All I can say is it's going to be a long time before I even venture back in that place.
And of course, it was really, we've been up there a couple of times.
Yes.
The place can change from darker to dark. And we went back up that cemetery, and I managed to talk you into it before Christmas, wasn't it?
Just before Christmas.
We went up there. No word of a lie. No one ever believed me with the red eyes and the stuff. And they hover about 7 or 8 foot. You don't get animals 7, 8 foot high.
No.
She see it. When I drive past there, she has to look the other way. She actually see it, and you know, she was petrified of it. And to me, I was so pleased and thinking,
I'm still petrified of it.
And I'm thinking to myself, do you know what? After nearly 30 years, somebody else has now witnessed this.
Well, it was horrible. It's pure evil. God.
But
so
gives you the shivers, does it, June?
Even talking about it now, it's still. As soon as someone mentions it, I was like, no,
you can. You can see that. You can see you getting all agitated about it, as if to say, "Don't even talk about it."
Oh,
You're hiding.
I should have been so sympathetic. To me, I was sort of, in a way, buzzing and thinking, you know, for nearly 30 years, it's there, it's shown itself,
because
and it's done, and somebody else has seen this.
it's because we literally just got out of there, didn't we? And we're sitting at the bus stop opposite,
That's
and he's
what happened.
talking to me. I have no memory of what he was saying because I'm just fixed. I'm like, no, they can't be. What the? And I told him, he's like, you just seen what I saw 30 odd years ago. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh God.
And to me, that was good because, you know, it sort of validated something that happened to me 30 years ago in a way. And I was just so, you know, I was sort of
that is mainly the reason why I will not venture back there. Not at the moment, anyway.
We said we
So
would.
would nothing tempt you to go back? Nothing at all would tempt you to go back with equipment or anything like that? No.
No.
We actually did a live investigation the August bank holiday the year before we actually went live, and we got quite a bit of activity there. We got some really good captures, but that place can change within an instant. And sort of people say to you, "Well, hang on, it's a churchyard now, or it's supposed to be protected by God, and this and that and that."
I used to think that.
So why do you get evil stuff? I mean, we had it because obviously we did our live back in the August the year before,
and that was terrifying as
and we decided enough. We captured all our evidence. We done everything we wanted to do. We put all the equipment in the car, and we walked back. There's 3 of us, and we said we're going to use our senses. There, we were only armed with our radios and torches, nothing else, and we did the walk through and stuff. That changed really quickly, and then all of a sudden, I had that thing that poked it. It wasn't an animal. It wasn't human. And it poked us, and I said to the 2 girls at the time, I said, "Do not turn around." I said, "Just move and let's get out of here." And we did. I can't explain it, but it wasn't normal. It wasn't an animal. Green eyes, the shape of it, and everything, and it was there, and it followed again by this very low mist that set off the floor, and it was only on that one section. It hadn't been raining. It wasn't a damp night.
It was a summer night. No, it wasn't. It was
obviously, we did quite a few pictures up there and stuff, and we did get some captures. And a lot of people when we did our live were actually screenshotting our lives and then sending us the pictures back and putting them on the groups, circling the stuff. And we had a couple of mediums on there, and they even actually come up in that cemetery, didn't they? With a name. We actually captured that name, what they were saying, on an EVP.
Peter.
Peter, his name was, yeah. So we kept it on EVP. The KT spiked at the same time as that happened.
He also said yes as well.
And then we said, "Well, can we take a picture of you?" And we captured it, didn't we? So the EVP went off, the KT, and we took that picture, and he went, "Yes, please." And we took that picture, and there, wasn't it, in the background, was that figure. So you're telling...
Amazing.
It's quite good that you got it on camera as well.
So you 3 pieces of equipment can go wrong. We're in the middle of nowhere. There's no electric. There's nothing.
A lot of things went on. That
what's that?
Skinwalkers, all. Where'd you go? But high, and you're into thinking what you see, you know.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a good one.
Skinwalkers.
Richie Freak also asked, "What was your handle
For the CB? What was your
CB?
handle?"
That's what it is for the CB. And I've been wondering what handle.
What you called yourself on the CB.
Bloody hell. I mean, Christ, you go back 30 years now. Scott, I can't remember what it was.
Well, how you handled it?
Oh, what was your handle? What on the CB radio? I mean, what was my handle?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't remember. Jesus.
Was it pink?
But you either can't remember or you're too embarrassed to tell.
No.
Because
when I was
back then,
when I was 8 years old, Mum and Dad for Christmas one of these CB radios. Well, put it this way, you needed 2 hands to clasp it. The aerial touched the clouds. It was that big. Do you know what I mean? So my handle back then when I was that age was Seagull. And the reason why I come up with Seagull is because you get so many bloody seagulls around there.
This was mango chutney.
Then I went... then I changed it later on when I got older, when I started driving at 17, 18. But we were part of a team, so we were the Magic... Oh...
Don't look at me. I didn't know you back then.
I think it's just embarrassed. I was kidding on, can't remember.
Magic Polo and Mobile Club. And that was what our handle was, because there was a team of 4 of us with all different cars, and there was about 12 of us in the end. So there's Magic Polo Mobile Club. So that's what our handle was. We had it all as set. I had to think about it.
Thanks, Loza.
Always remember my brother had a CB radio, and he called himself Dancing Bear, and I ripped it out of him for weeks, you know, because I used to sit outside his bedroom door when he was on it, you know, and listen to him. And when you're from Glasgow and that, it just doesn't happen. You know, you try to sound like an American trucker or something. And I sat outside his room many times listening to him. And after he came off it, I used to rip it out of him. Dancing Bear, I thought, you're a...
I do one thing. You want to laugh here, right? Because one of our members, when we were on the CB, his name was Malcolm, okay? Now, we used to go up to Fairlight, because that's quite haunted by the Grey Lady. But this was before I was into the paranormal and stuff like this. So I've got to say it. And, of course, his trainers are wore out. So, of course, the front of his trainers had fallen off. So, of course, you get holes in there. And you used to walk up on in Fairlight, as you know, it's all green grass, the cliffs and all this. And, of course, you get thousands of rabbits, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, all the little rabbit droppings and that, he got a load caught that went into his foot. So he changed his handle there to Bunny Current.
Oh, no.
God's sake.
Because of what had happened. And I tell you what, they all ripped the piss.
Can I ask a question? It's going to sound really, really stupid. What the hell's a CB radio?
It's a CB radio. I'll tell you.
Bear in mind, I was born. He said this is way before.
They were great fun before mobiles were invented.
I'm too young for that.
Aye, okay, Sam.
Well, you used to drive along, didn't you? Have the big magnetic. Well, sometimes you can put them on the rails, but big magnetic aerial that you used to. I loved it because I had the twins one. Mm-hmm. So when you sort of drove, the aerials used to swing.
You know they can't see your hands, right? You're doing that.
Yes, I know.
Okay.
That. But yeah, the CB radio and that had 40 channels, didn't you? You had your mids, you had your.
So is it basically a radio?
It's a bit like the radios you have, but it's a CB radio. It's not like the radios that we use now.
But what does CB stand for?
Scott will answer that for you.
Channel broadcasting or something like that, I think it is.
Okay.
Citizens Band Radio, it was called.
But you had
cheeky buggers.
But you had to have a lot.
My dad told me that I was too young.
Because the truckers still use it, and it used to be 1-9 was their radio stations. We always used to use 1-4, channel 14. Then it sort of progressed a little bit later on, so then we used to use channel 19, the truckers radio and stuff. But then I had a burner fitted in my car, which was completely illegal, which actually boosted. So you could buy the booster for the back of your car, CB radio and stuff. And if you touch the aerial and then you TX'd, you would burn your fingers.
That's just gone over my head.
That's it, James. Right, straight over the head.
Citizens Band
straight
radio.
Over the head.
Of course I'm right.
Well done,
Scott. But as I say, I used to sit outside my brother's room. There used to be like, channel 19 for any good buddies and all the rest of it. And I was sitting there just wetting myself on the other side of the door. I mean, just like, you're a plum. Do you know what I mean? But he was right into it.
But
he was so into
channel, Scott, didn't it? I bet your channel was 69, right?
I never had one. You're not listening to me, are you? My big brother.
He's not.
You know, I know I was speaking Scottish, and you're away down the south coast, so I'll speak kind of south coast, right? My big brother, big brother, sibling, had CB radio, not me, donkey. Okay.
Oh dear.
What?
No, we're on this conversation. In fact, I'm just going to say hi to Abby Davison. Is that okay? Abby Davison and Lindsay Haddle. And then I've got a wee question for you two guys. I was having a wee nosy through your page, and I looked, and I was watching the video of the Dibble box. I don't know if you can remember that far back. Did you ever find anything out about the contents that was in that?
Was that
The Dibbit box.
the Dibbit box?
contents.
Yes, we did actually, because
The contents.
the Dibbit box that we did, we were given it by somebody who did want it, and he said that he was giving it to a friend who was renovating the house and stuff, and it had been there for many, many years. So we took it on. So we did do the Dibbit box and stuff like that. And then after we did that, to find out about 2 weeks later that he actually lied, that he actually bought it on eBay.
I think that's where a lot of them are actually buying them, to be honest. You know, they say these are ancient artifacts, and then they're just buying them and putting whatever they want into them. So,
Because at the time,
and then selling them off again.
there was stuff in there. And obviously, this was quite new to us. It wasn't sort of the old bit of string. You had that pebble with the stuff. I mean, it's actually now locked in my cabinet here that's on display because I like the box. So I've kept the box. So that's all on display. So I have that.
Well, it's good to have the opportunity to do a live with it anyway.
Yeah.
With the stuff. He actually lied to us
we were fuming.
for a couple of months, and we were apprehensive because we didn't really want to do a Dibbit box, did we? We were sort of really freaked out, and my choice of language that night, you know, when I did it on the live, which I don't usually swear on a live, to be fair with you, but I was actually bricking it, to be honest, to do one of those. Would I do one again?
Yeah.
I don't know. But then to find out after a couple of weeks later, we went, oh no, I didn't actually really get it from this. I bought it off eBay, and you actually
Prick.
That's what I said, to be honest, because
And that's
it
being
could,
polite.
and that was being polite because it could have been the real thing. So no, it wasn't genuine. I tell you what, the craftsmanship now they did it was very, very good. But just because you got it off of eBay doesn't mean it wasn't old. But I don't think it was, to be fair with you. So it was a bit of a disappointment for us.
Like somebody's microwave dinner's going. Ding ding.
Oh, that'll
Dinner's
be
ready.
the stair alarm that keeps going because the boys keep going.
So I have nearly 6-year-old that's severely disabled. So in my house, I have to have CCTV throughout my house
And alarms.
and alarms to monitor him for his own safety. So when you hear the sort of the beeps and stuff like that, it's because he's active and in certain areas. So obviously I can watch him off the monitors from down here. So I've got 8 screens for him that covers everything. So that's what you're hearing is the alarms. Because
But the other two boys quite a lot.
I just want to say hi to Matthew. Matthew Goes to Mosque's part of our American team. Hi, Matt. Thanks very much for coming in, buddy.
Hi, Matthew.
Hi.
All this shadows of the moon, and Missy's here. Missy's in the house.
Oh, hi,
Hello,
Missy.
Hi.
Hi.
I hope you're keeping well, doll. And that man of yours as well. You know, him. That's all I'm going to say. Mr. Kiosk himself.
You leave my friend alone.
I haven't are good friends, you know, but I nothing to do with it. My hands are clean. As you know what I mean? Sorry, Dad, to interrupt your chat there. Sorry. I was just wanting to say hello to Matthew and Missy. Know what I mean? Missy's back. She must have got a tower. She was having problems with her other tower, so I take it she's got a new tower back, which is all good. I mean,
So what's next for you guys?
Say that again.
What's next for you guys? What's on your agenda next? Obviously, once lockdown is by.
Well, definitely, obviously, what for investigations and stuff, it's definitely Gloucestershire. It's definitely the Premier Inn that we're going to be doing. We're obviously hoping to catch up with GPIS for Gloucestershire Prison. There's a couple of other things that they got round there that they keep them quiet to sort of want to set up for us to do. We've definitely got roommate in Wigan that we're hoping to do, and we sort of still want to get little Molly Hawkins done in the Old Town at some point as well, which is only a 5-minute walk for us. But you've got to get it at the right time of night, because obviously nightclubs are only sort of like a 10-minute walk for where you sort of are in the Old Town. You need to get it at the right time of morning, because when you do EVPs and everything, we don't want to contaminate it by party goers walking past and stuff like that. But
it's also different every single time.
Yeah, definitely want to do the All Saints Church down there, because this is where the vicar who actually run All Saints Church, this is the one that goes under the stag park. He used to help the smugglers and that. He got hung. He got hung.
I keep kicking myself off because I've got a new tablets. I keep kicking myself off. I've tried to get into the chat. I keep going and pressing the leave button by mistake. Sorry about that, guys.
That's fine. But he got hung on the beach 500 yards from there. And the legend has it, and is in the library as well, that if you are lucky enough to actually see his spirit and follow it, you would be the richest person in the world, because it's never been found, his stash of rum.
It's documented as well, isn't it? There.
Eh?
It's documented as well, isn't it?
It's documented.
I'm just saying
I always say documented. Stop it. Can't help it. But yeah, but as it's all there in the library. But if you are lucky enough to follow, because he is actually buried in an unmarked grave there. No one knows where he is buried. It's there. So yeah, as I said, and we got a lot of tunnels that go under the ground and stuff that used to link up, because it's all smugglers down here.
Oh, she's gone now.
I know, we're taking shots each. Sorry about that.
My panel, my team keeps disappearing. Chance have I got?
I have a logical excuse.
She might need to go to the toilet.
No, she's there. She's just playing musical chairs. She just went to go to that side.
I'm not being funny, Scott, but that one time when we did that live, do you remember it kept going all wrong? We had really strong winds that night, didn't we? Hail and everything, and it kept going in and out, and it's really frustrating.
Honestly, I mean,
You're shaking my hand that's holding your phone, so the phone's shaking.
Those two have no excuse, because they're just about 15 minutes away from where we live, so we know what the weather's like, so they can't say they've been hit with
No, Auchinleck has its own weather forecast.
Aye, okay. They're in their own bubble.
It's hurricanes out there just now, Scott.
So I can jump in the car and be there in 10 minutes and I'll see if it's hurricanes.
It's out your jurisdiction. You're in lockdown.
I can make up some excuse. I've got, I need a new tyre or something. I don't know.
No, this time enough, pal.
So, Scott, all you three live close together, yeah?
Yeah. I have 15 minutes away. It's not far.
Awesome, because do you know what? If we ever, we are going to happen, but when we come to Scotland at some point, Glasgow and all this area, blah, 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 maybe all us lot can catch up together on an investigation.
Yeah, of course, we're all local. We're up for that.
Yeah. Laura as well. Laura's in the chat. She's part of your team as well. She's literally 5 minutes in the car. We're only even 5 minutes in the car for us, so we are all kind of local. Get back to your Ouija boards. Ouija Freak asked a question earlier on, another chorus. We just seen it now, so sorry for that. What's your opinion on Ouija boards? I just saw the comment coming up and I missed it earlier on.
See, we actually do have one, but we've not used it yet.
What is my opinion on the Ouija board? My opinion, personally, was you can go get stuff, because I would never, ever do one. But in saying that, then when we stayed in Gloucestershire at the Premier Inn, okay, everyone was asleep, all the guests there, and the member of staff, because she recognised with the t-shirts and all that, that she took us into the dining area, and it's like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. She took us, it's just us three, and a member of staff, she left reception, and she's done this Ouija board, and she goes, well, and I went, go on then, I will give it a go. And we did.
Much to my surprise, like, what?
Much to your surprise, we did it. But yeah, we did get a little bit of response. And then after that, I thought, do you know what? I quite like this. So we bought one. Okay, well, it ended up damaged. It was no good. We tried, and it all went wrong, doesn't it? We now bought a new one, because then we got it just as lockdown was starting. So we've not had the because obviously the Ouija board is in. Is it your dad's, isn't it?
I think I brought it with me.
Is it here?
I'm pretty sure it's up in the loft.
Okay, it's in the loft, but we've not had the chance to use it. So yeah, I mean, of course, we had the bins moving and stuff like this in this big restaurant part and stuff. So yeah, so my opinions changed a little bit with Ouija boards. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Looking forward to seeing that in a live, actually. See what would be
but
who would come through.
Our Ouija board hasn't got an owner yet.
No, but there's a lot of controversy. Okay, with Ouija boards and stuff. You know, you could be sitting in your front room, and stuff can move.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell me with a Ouija board, why can you not put the planchette on the board and speak to it without putting your fingers on it, and it can move? And why can't it move on its own?
Because with your fingers, you're giving it more energy for it to do it.
But do I need to put my fingers on that remote control to move across my room and end up somewhere else?
No, but with the planchette, for the spirits to do the words, to do the letters on there, it takes up a lot of energy to do a single letter. That's why you put your fingers on there.
But clothes
to take your energy.
Clothes can disappear and never be found again. So if the Ouija board was that real, why can't they move it on their own? Why does it need your fingers on there?
Yeah, and the halos can keep disappearing and end up somewhere else. No.
This is sort of, in a way, my argument. And the reason why I'm sort of having that sort of argument with it at the minute is because I've not actually fully, properly used it.
We haven't used it yet.
So I can't really answer that question.
I think there are some experiences where people have seen the planchette actually move on its own, to a point where it's kind of smashing against walls and things like that. I think sometimes you can get it violent, sometimes you can get it. It just depends who you're bringing through. And I think many folk know exactly who they're dealing with when they're going on to these. As anything is, they don't know who they're dealing with. So I think that's when it can become a big bit dodgy.
Yeah, I agree with that one. Definitely. 100%. Yeah.
But we definitely use it somewhere away from the kids.
But until we get this one down, we started taking it, because I like to use it at Hastings Castle and stuff like that, the Ouija board and that, and let's see what we get. And take it to Gloucestershire, and obviously we stream it live. We stream it live.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And afterwards, I had an attack. Not got rid of it, but me myself will never use it. We need for it as well. I mean, the Ouija board is something that's been about for a long, long time, and everybody's got their own opinions on it. You know, whether it's real, whether it's not. It's like everything in the paranormal. It's something that's maybe been around for centuries, and everybody's got their own opinion on it. Some people dabble, some people not. I mean, personally, I always said I would never get near a Ouija board. Maybe I've just watched too many films or whatever, but I've always said never. But we're close friends and we work a lot with GSI. One of their guys, Ralph, he's quite an expert on Ouija boards. He's been doing it for like 30 years. And we had them on a few weeks ago. They're coming back on next month, actually. But I was talking to Ralph and he was, talking away to me. And I thought, and he said, if you want to try it, you can try it with me. I'll be there to advise you. So I'm kind of 50-50. I say that I tell I'm going to try. So I might give it a go. It's like everything else. Everybody's got their own opinions. Some agree with it.
Give it a go. Give it a go. I always said in all these years I would never ever do it.
He's always told me he'd never do it.
I got put on that spot in Gloucestershire with a member staff in that dark restaurant is massive, old school and that. And I went, do you know what? One night I went, sod it, let's just give it a go. And do you know what? It wasn't about, but does it mean that I'm going to continue doing it? Probably not. But do you know what? You live once, give it a go. You know, it might be something you might.
Because when
You know.
we went to that thing in Portsmouth, they did a Ouija board session, didn't they? And
Yeah.
I was asked to join. Nothing actually happened though, which is a shame, really.
It doesn't always happen
No.
though. That's the thing in the paranormal. As like Scott says, it's like fishing. You know, you can never guarantee anything. Even on investigations and stuff, you can never guarantee.
Yeah, totally.
But Mrs. say my kids grew up with everything scary, and they're fine. They turned out all right, and they did. Andy's made a comment. But Andy, you never know whether to take Andy serious or not. You know,
Your magic pulls that much.
it's later.
The thing is, though, in America, they actually sell the Ouija boards as kids' toys.
That's it. It started out as a toy. I might be wrong. I'm not an expert in Ouija boards. I've never claimed to be. But I think it did originally start out as a kid's toy.
Yeah,
you know,
you're right.
And you know where the connection to the paranormal came about, but somehow it caught on, and everybody started using them.
Yeah.
And
Well, I know Poundland had them for £1, but then the kids were getting them just recently at Halloween last year. The Poundland shops, the pound stores were selling them for £1.
They did. They were selling them. I mean, I think you got these teenagers that maybe have a few cans of beer on a Friday night, you know, with their friends and what have you, and they've watched a film that week on Ouija boards and what have you, and then they think, you know, I'm drunk, let's give the Ouija board a try. You know, I've known people to make up their own, you know, to write out individual letters and stick them in a bit of cardboard and stuff, and after, you know, you clear off your trolley kind of thing, you know. Was a serious question, the point being that no person can influence what's being spelled out. That's true, Andy. As I say, buddy, you never know what to take you serious or not. It's a serious I've lost this question now. Where did it go?
So how many balls would you need for that? How many balls actually would you need for that? Quite a few. A ball for each letter.
It's every letter in the alphabet, I think, and every... Keep it clean, June.
Yes
please.
and no and...
I didn't say anything.
It'd be every letter in the alphabet, I'd imagine, the yes and no and the numbers. I think, you know... I just told our cat balls that we've got the lit up twice.
Yep.
I think we've done investigations. Couldn't you set up a Ouija like area with a ball for each letter? I suppose you could.
Yeah.
You know.
It'd be like a disco.
Aye. A ball for each letter. Right, I know what he means now. I've just clicked on. Aye. I know what you mean, Andy. So you put a ball beside each letter and the balls light up and it signifies...
Corresponding to each letter to make a word.
Yeah. I've got a... Sometimes it takes me a wee few minutes to click onto something. Not I'm saying I'm thick, you know, but sometimes it takes... But I think I cut a ball to each letter and then as soon as the balls light up, right down the letter. I think I'm right. That's actually not a bad idea. That's quite a good idea. Hi, Steve, buddy. Thanks for coming in.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve.
Hi, Steve. Oh, Sean would say hi, but he's had to go somewhere. Nature calls.
So I had the balls. Trying to see if there's any other questions. Me multitasking is no the best.
Make each letter the size of a playing card. Set a ball atop each. Right, aye. I know what you mean.
So make
Randy.
a big Ouija board, a bigger Ouija board.
Aye.
So they would all fit.
Not a bad idea.
Set a ball on top of it.
So what about you, June? Sorry, did you say you had used the Ouija board before?
When we went to obviously Gloucestershire, we did one with one of the staff, and then when we went to an event in Portsmouth, we did use a Ouija board session, but nothing happened on that one. So.
Ah, just a lucky draw. It's like technology these days.
Yeah.
It either works or it doesn't. It's kind of like that sometimes.
If using that, be aware they won't be any cats nearby then.
That's a strange one, isn't it? I wouldn't have
Oh, it's
thought
Could
about
have-
that now.
The balls they're called the cat balls, basically. You know, see, we use them, but cats like to play with. That's where they're advertised at. They're sold as toys for cats, and when the cats hit them, they light up, so the cat chases them. That's basically what. But I suppose the Ouija board is like everything else in the paranormal. I mean, at the end of the day, it's down to spirit if they want to talk to you or not.
The thing
You know,
is,
so
you sort of talk about the equipment and sort of Ouija boards and stuff you use. When you sort of do it live, a lot of people like to see all the flashing lights and stuff like that that come up. But a lot of the time, we sort of like to use our senses as well with stuff.
I've got that too. Is it the thing now?
I don't know how all you feel. I mean, do you always rely on your equipment and stuff, or?
I've said many a lie. You know, I'm not really a gadget person. I never have been a gadget. I like the laser pen, and that's about it. But the senses is the best tool you can use.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I've said that all along. And you know, some folk have criticised me for it. I've been called fake and all the rest of it, but you know, don't care. I believe your senses are the best thing to use.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you, because obviously I used to do watch John Zaffis quite a lot. You know, the Haunted Collector and stuff, and he used a laser grid pen and that. And he said, I think on one of his programs, he said that you can only ever pick it up if you're using your IRDA camera and stuff like that. But we've actually used one here, and 3 people have actually seen it without using the camera. Actually seen the shape, and it's manipulated and everything. So it can be seen by the naked eye also.
Mm-hmm.
Carrot, little bells on. Mrs. reads cards, and she's spot on with her cards. That's Shadows in the Moon, your own channel. She does card reading, whatever, and she's bang on with them. She's absolutely amazing doing them. But the coach says too much technical stuff could scare off as well. I suppose it could, but you know, I'm not a fan of gadgets. I never have been. I prefer using my senses, even though folk think it. I just clicked that again, don't I? See what I mean? We mean gadgets and tech. I'm not very good at it. But I always say your senses is a thing. What about you, Shelley?
I think the senses, I mean, if you can pick up your own senses and somebody else can pick up the same sense at the same time, that's fantastic. But if you haven't got that ability to do that, then obviously the gadgets are going to help a great deal, just to kind of help validate what you're experiencing at the time.
Oh, absolutely agree with that. Yeah.
I think they just work as a backup, really, because if you can document what's happening on their devices, then people can see that. They can't always see what you feel.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But it is really good to feel that yourself. To be able to hear it or see it, or even the sense of smell and stuff like that kind of thing. Because I have had all that. I've felt things, I've seen things, I've smelled things, I've heard things, you know. And for me, I love that. And that's what I crave. Every time I go into a place, I just want to be able to experience that for myself. But then that only goes so far. You want to be able to document it for other people to see.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, agree with you there, 100%. Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Scott, though. I mean, there is one place that you would like. Here is Pluckley Village. It's about an hour and 15 minutes drive from us. And it is actually in the Guinness Book of Records as the most haunted village in Sussex. There's
What's the name of that? Sorry, Sean.
Sorry?
Pluckley, did you say?
Pluckley, yeah.
Yeah.
It's in the Guinness Book of Records, most haunted village in Sussex. 14 spirits that haunt that place, and I think there is 1 horse and 1 dog. The other 12 are of
Like kind of human spirits.
sorry, I was listening to her.
What about you, Sam? What do you prefer?
I'm a bit. I like to go on my own senses as well. I don't fully disagree with having like equipment etc. to find it, but I think that your own senses are your best tool.
Yes.
Basically,
Mm.
if you get a gut, I'm a firm believer that if you get a gut feeling about something, go with it, because 9 times out of 10 it's usually right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yes.
I'm like that. It's like your senses. It's true what they say. If you lose one of your senses, all your other senses tend to enhance. So they're there for a reason. Use them.
Yeah.
Well, that's because I'm
Steel flashlights,
Well,
listen them a little and ask one for yes and two for no worked all the time. I've seen the flashlight. I've seen it on Haunted State. They used a flashlight.
They did.
It was with Michael Brown on here a couple of weeks ago. They used a flashlight, and it shows there was nobody near it, nothing, and it went off on. Basically, when they asked a question, it went off. No, sorry, it went on, and they asked, "Can you turn that back off?" And it went back off again. Which I found really, really interesting. It was Michael. So I go about that one, and he said he couldn't explain it.
I'd love to try that.
We've got the full team coming in the end of March, so we can ask him again about the flashlight, folks. They're in the tickets. 9th of March, they're right.
Quite a few times with the flashlight and that.
But we've not done that yet.
I've sort of tried to debunk it. Sometimes you can, but other times that you can't. But most sort of paranormal equipment you use, so
it's. I mean, the other thing that Sarah likes them, I don't, likes the necrophonic. I'm not saying anything against them. People use them every day. It's that. Sometimes I think with these, like the necrophonic app, Paratic and what have you, people hear what they want to hear.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah, but they're saying that you've heard and you've seen that video of the necrophonic app that I sent you.
I know, that's what I mean. Sometimes people hear what they want to hear, so, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of 50-50, I think. I mean, Sarah uses an necrophonic app, and I've seen the video that you sent us, but I've seen a lot of people, I've watched quite a few people use it, and they'll think, I heard that Malcolm there. I heard something, and you listen back to it, and it sounds nothing like what they say it was, if you know what I mean. That's the reason I'm a big thing of gadgets. That's why I always think senses are the best.
Aye, definitely.
Just my opinion. You know what I mean?
And I think somebody said to Ellie.
Sorry, go on, Shelly.
I think somebody said it on the chat as well about being old school. Like obviously we've got all these gadgets now.
That's Missy, isn't it? Missy was talking about being old school.
It was Missy, being the old school is the best. Not now as much as I like old school, I'm not going to lie. I love my gadgets. Well, I think that's the same way as all. I mean, it's great to be old school and be able to pick up these things because you don't really need all the gadgets to be able to pick up kind of evidence or things happen. You can have trigger objects and stuff like that. These things can work as well, just the same, just as good actually. But gadgets.
Yeah, see, I love it, sort of old school. I love the sensors and stuff, but I also like the gadgets also. So I'm sort of caught in between the two. I love both. I like the gadgets to actually back up to what we're saying, what we're feeling and stuff. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, each to our own.
And I think the way it's evolving, nobody goes on these investigations without having all this tech and gadgets. You only go. It's like going to a party when he plays on, really, isn't it?
Whatever floats your boat.
kind of thing. It's just the same as, I mean, you just want to do that.
Whatever floats your boat. Depends what type of party you're going to, ain't it?
Well, some folk might. A nudist beach party.
So what would you go in, Scott? Your leather thong and Sarah's bra?
Hi, Penny. I'm not going to answer that one.
He's
Reaction to
mankini.
that.
I'd go in my pink fluffy panda outfit.
Yeah.
Or granny.
Yeah,
Or granny. I'm
That's-
just about to say that, Sam.
aye. Or Granny. Granny's coming out of retirement, actually.
Oh, yeah.
She will. Aye. But just wait till Granny gets a hobby on screen, you'll be watching every word you say.
Aye.
Missy, Andy will tell you, you don't mess with Granny. Isn't that right, Missy? Missy will tell you. Granny, I met Missy one night, and you know, I was really. Granny enjoyed it. You know, she had a good laugh. She had to give Eddie into trouble a couple of times, mind you, because he kept butting in. But you know, other than that, it was quite good. But nobody ever answered her back. It's amazing. Nicole, Granny, what a wholesome wench she can be. You know, Andy's got a thing for Granny, which is quite disturbing, actually. You know, especially for me. You know,
Especially if you were to come face to face with them.
Oh.
Granny and Andy out of lockdown.
I don't know who Granny is.
Oh, you should watch the old videos. You'll find Granny. She's there somewhere.
say the shadows of the moon has spoken. You don't mess with Granny.
She'll probably never sleep at night for sure then.
When we want wee Granny too. There's a big Granny and wee Granny, but that's all I'm saying. I'm saying nothing else on that, you know. Big Granny and wee Granny will be back. We seem to have lost Sam for some reason. I mean,
Shall we get dressed up, I think?
I hope not in this show. No, she'll not give it. She pops back up wearing something different, she's not getting in.
Oh, here she
Sorry, I
comes.
got kicked off.
Do you know, technology is so good, but the internet can be so frustrating sometimes.
Don't think
Well, last time Granny wanted to fit me with batteries, which I didn't object to the idea until she mentioned that she nicked them from a parked lorry. Next day it was a generator.
Oh dear.
You see what I mean about disturbing? It's quite disturbing, some of his thoughts, you know, especially when he knows who Granny really is. that's what worries me.
Wasn't Andy the one when we did the big live with you that time?
I think it's dead.
Andy was on, but it wasn't the Halloween one.
Christmas one, wasn't it?
Christmas
Christmas
one. Yeah, that's what I remember. Yeah, Andy. Yeah, very funny bloke. Actually, love him. He's really great. But he comes at us now. I tell you, he cracks me up.
Yeah,
Did you say funny? Did you say he was funny?
Oh,
Yeah.
he's funny with what he comes out with. Yeah,
No, it's dead.
You know you're talking about Andy here, don't you?
yeah.
So Andy and funny in the same sentence.
Yeah.
He is a wee bit funny if he quite like he's
He's
he
witty.
fancies Granny.
Wicked.
He's quite
It's very funny.
He's
Look,
quite
my-
witty.
He's telling me I got 3, and it keeps going, and it died. Useless. Bloody B&M special. That is.
Well, he's actually got a point here.
Who else?
Who else would ask yes if he's pregnant? That's true.
He's a cheeky.
You thought he was funny, now he's cheeky.
I'm not fat. Thank you very much. See,
It was the camera angle.
I'm not fat and I'm not pregnant. Lovely.
Did I not warn you previously about doing that again?
I'm letting you down.
Well, you need
I remember warning you because me had done it. You know, so Mrs. made a good point here. Putting it back on a serious note, by the way, folks.
Okay.
Aye.
I stopped trying to close off a long time ago. But I look at the world differently. I look at it like the spirits and entities were here before me and are around all the time.
Mhm.
She's quite right. She's quite right.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the
Every town has a floor, so every channel needs one too.
here.
I was
Shall we take
literally talking to you, taking you to bed.
I was literally taking you to bed, not
Now
you
you're
are
now you're
talking about
taking about now you're
Granny, and I'm lost.
she's lost because she doesn't know who Granny is.
That's William.
Oh, William, sorry, I did think that. Hello, William. So he was going to take going to bed and watch in bed, and then you started talking about Granny, and now he's lost.
Don't, you'll have nightmares. Don't worry about Granny.
Hi, Brett and Emma. Thanks for coming in. Hope you are well. Granny's just been busy, and there's been other stuff happening. She's not a chance to get back on, but she will be back on. And
She's shielding at the minute.
Hi, Brent.
She's in the shielding category.
Shadow, I just seen your comment there. You behave now, Whitney. Hey, you might want to take Granny to bed.
She's talking to Ouija Freak.
Listen then.
Oh,
Then she's talking to William.
Just get a new tower, Shadow. You and I will have words. Right?
Honestly, you need to get Granny back on soon. I mean, you need to tell her she'll be fine. Just to come out of the shielding, she'll be fine.
She has shielding just now. As Sam advised her, because obviously Sam works with the NHS. Sam advised her to shield for 9 months until she gives birth.
Yeah, we'll get her a wheelchair. She'll be fine.
She can
Granny-
self-isolate from home. She can self-isolate from home. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
Granny is one of the fittest. She's 93. She does water Zumba. She goes for jogs. She does sit-ups, everything. You name it, Granny will do it. You know what I mean? So she doesn't need a wheelchair.
Think of Catherine Tate, Granny.
Wow.
You what?
Listen.
Think of the
Scott means-
Catherine Tate, Granny.
Aye.
God. Yeah.
Scott, if it lasts for more than an hour, Sam could even keep a catheterizer so that she doesn't have to go to the loo as often.
No,
Missy,
Granny
that's-
does not. I can deal with it. That's very true, Sharon. You can deal with him. You can deal with anything, you know what I mean?
Hats off to you, Missy.
I know.
Just hook up to the mid electricity and watch Granny glow.
I love
She'd
it.
love it.
Electrifying.
Lockdown is driving us mad, and we're itching to. Same as us, everybody's itching to get back out, and hopefully, even if the restrictions are eased a little bit, we don't know. We might be able to. But right now,
desperate to go.
We come down to see you. I can't believe it. It was really warm down here in Hastings. We come up to see you in Bolton, when it bloody freezing that night, wasn't it? When we come out of the old the pub that night.
And my toes are completely healed now, Brent and Emma.
Yeah, they're completely healed. She can walk now. So next time when we're down your way, we'll meet you for that hot dog.
so we're going to need shorts and flip flops when we come to Hastings. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, you definitely need shorts and flip flop. Well, actually, I think he's going to need something, probably still toe caps of walking up that bloody steps that we got.
Oh God, yeah.
You
And a
really
bib.
sure you want
You
shorts?
seen the steps, Scott? You've seen the steps and the hills and all that. So you up for it? Shorts and flip flops.
Steps? Why? Steps. I remember one year I went to, where was it? Esther Tea. I was there for 2 weeks, and every time you walk into town, every time we always passed these steps, and you couldn't see the top of them. You know, there was just that many. And so the last day of the holiday, me and the ex-brother-in-law decided, let's climb the steps and see where it takes us. You know, like Jack and the Beanstalk or something. And so we climbed the steps, and there was bugger all at the top of them. Bugger all.
You didn't even get an ice top then, Scott.
What, sorry?
You didn't even get an ice cream at the top of the steps.
There was nothing. There was nothing. No, there was a bit of spare ground. That was it. I mean, she's done it again.
She's done it again.
She's kicked herself out again. And she works for the NHS. She'd really worried. She can't even stay alive for the full time without pressing her. You know, she presses the wrong button on her tablet, whatever it is. Lord help the folk in the ward if she presses the wrong button.
Game.
Know what I mean?
Doubled into morphine.
Aye, exactly. Sam's on the ward. Don't let her near any buttons. You know what you touch.
Or electricity for that matter.
Sam, obviously she works in the hospital, and she's got a thing about electrocuting people. Well, you know, the jump start and the bump.
Yeah.
You know, she
loves
it. Even the visitors, even the people who are the patients, she just bang, walk up behind them, zap them. You know, it's just sadistic that way. You know what I mean? Yeah.
She's hilarious.
Yeah, she's back again.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Zapper's back. Back again.
I was just saying, you work for the NHS and you can't even press the right button to stay in a line. That's worrying.
I'm stressed.
Next time I'll fix myself. Thank you very much.
That's right. Shut up, you.
At this point, did you purchase one of my REM pods yet, Sean and June?
I haven't been paid yet, Brent. For God's sake, you have to wait. I have been eyeing them up. Don't you worry. We will be purchasing one.
Nicole told me that Granny has her own reality TV show.
Oh, Big Granny. Big Granny.
Or me, Granny.
First time you hear it. You never told me.
Granny
Don't worry,
doesn't tell you everything.
Don't worry. When she comes off her running machine, I'll have a wee word with her. And she's still got another 20 minutes to go in it yet. I'll tell her she's not laid off before 11 o'clock. You know what I mean? Then I'll take the padlocks off and she can go off. I've got to keep her fit in this day and age now. But I think we're going to wind it up there, folks. That's an hour and a half we've been on, so I think we're going to wind it up there. You guys got any more questions for our guests?
No, I think we're good at that.
No, I think we're good. Thank you very much for coming on.
Yeah, it was good to see you.
Great pleasure to speak to you two. We've never spoken to you before. Lovely people, and as I said, we get down the Scotland way. We would really look forward to meeting up with you as well.
Definitely, that would be great.
Good.
I'm not.
Can I just interrupt?
No.
You see, you see, there was a pleasure to talk to thee too. I've been here the whole time as well.
Scott, we talk quite a lot.
It's always a pleasure.
That's the point.
Scott, it's always speaking to you and Sarah. We speak quite a lot. These are two new guests. We've never spoken to these before.
Sean, They're not guests. We're the
Sorry,
guests.
we're the guests.
You-
I'm sorry. But these are two new people we've not spoken to. Lovely people. So it's been a real pleasure speaking to you both. Thank you so much, you know, for your questions
Thank you for coming on. It was good to
Problem.
speak to you both as well.
and everything. And we
Right,
look forward to catching up.
Just
Say
never
that,
mind, Scott. Connor, just hide him.
Shelley, covering your camera doesn't take me away. I'm still here.
How
He's
can
a
we not
driving
mute you? How can
I'm a
we not
driving
mute you?
instructor.
Hopefully again we can catch up for another chat. No, I'm doing it now.
And then
Like a
we
Catherine
can't
Bullet.
stay in a lie. And a driving instructor who thinks if he covers up her camera, I disappear. What chance?
Well, you disappeared from our view, Scott.
You ought to wash your hands, actually, with
Technically, I
Shelley.
can't see you.
Aye, look at that. But anyway,
High five.
anyway, you said thanks today too, twice. Now, you said it was a pleasure. Twice you've said it. I'm still waiting.
It's always a pleasure talking to you.
Scott.
It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. It's been a pleasure, Scott.
As always.
That's all I needed to hear. It's good to feel wanted a wee bit, you know.
Always.
I don't think you're wanted as much as Granny is, though. Got to say.
I will tell you
Well,
what.
we aren't anyway, I'll tell you that. No, I'm saying the better. That, the better. You know what I mean?
Scott, we change it. It's an honour to chat with you tonight.
Knew he's ripping it, isn't he?
Aye, don't make his head get too big.
And the privilege.
No,
Yeah.
you
We
forgot
do, Nicole. We definitely do.
Definitely.
privilege. Come on, Sean, privilege.
And a
See ya.
privilege. Yes, privilege, Scott, as always, my dear friend.
You're going over the top now, boy.
We're
Don't
over to that now. I mean,
now. Don't forget you
Yeah,
messaged me. You owe me 30 quid now for saying this.
do the letters FO mean anything? Yes, we do have a sweet team here, and we have Scott too. Thank you, Nicole. And then she makes a she just ruins it by saying this. I mean,
Yeah,
really.
bunch of bosses. We're the bunch of bosses.
You know they love you, but you're outrun by a
Scott.
bunch of females.
Aye, okay, whatever. I said, whatever.
Right, gone
Aye, Captain.
first.
Aye, we'll see about that. Anyway, folks, thanks very much for coming in. We're back tomorrow night with Paul from Paranormal Analysis. I nearly forgot analysis. Sorry. He's on tomorrow night. Saturday night, we have Jeff Hatch and Maria Olsen coming in from the movie The Crumbs. They played part of CRA entertainers there. And on Saturday night to have a chat with us. So we're really looking good. Jeff played the doctor. Maria played the mother in the movie The Crumbs. And if you've not seen it, then give it a watch. It's definitely worth a watch. So Scott, with 3 women and a pregnant fella on the screen, you don't stand a chance. I'm done, Andy. My chance. So we're going to call it a night just now, folks, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night at 9 o'clock again. So thanks very much for coming in, everybody. And
Take care.
Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And take care.
Pleasure to meet you all.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.